What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with more sales prices for the vintage collection. Lots of good data out there, including, as you see in this thumbnail, some resale prices for the recently released indoor bunker and the speeder bike with Scout Trooper. But both of the packaging on those look great. And we've got some TVC 1.0. We've got some graded items, a pretty nice assortment of different sales prices. Obviously, by now, you guys have all seen the recent reveals from the Hasbro live stream last week. I'm really excited about that Darth Vader with removable helmet. That one looks particularly nice. Excited about that one. Let's go ahead and dig right in. The first one is Dengar, VC01. This one sold for $130, free shipping, and it looked to be in pretty fantastic condition overall. And that price, again, is kind of right in line with where this one has been selling here recently. You know, probably an 85 plus or a 90 grade condition Dengar. Just looks fantastic on that card with that free rocket firing Boba Fett offer. And again, 130 took that home. Mace Windu, I thought this one was an interesting one. Unpunched US card back, obviously the original release, but as is the case with any time a figure has been re-released, you know, the original issue tends to go down in price, and that's the case with Mace Windu. Of course, this one sold for $73.80 plus $6 shipping, and I found two other data points for Mace Windu that were all right around $80. So this one's kind of right in line with that. But, you know, this time last year, this was going for over $100 pretty regularly. And again, anytime they re-release, we're going to continue to see the original drop. And on that note, going back to that Hasbro live stream last week, obviously they announced that Star Killer is being reissued. So keep an eye on the original issue Star Killers for those of you looking to fill in your collection and you want that original issue VC100. I'm guessing that we'll probably see a pretty dramatic drop off in the price of that original issue Star Killer over the coming months. So now's probably a good time to put that on your radar if you're looking to get that that first release. Next up is Commander Grieve VC43. This one was a punched example, and you know, overall pretty great condition. Just some light edge wear here and there, but it was punched. That one sold for $103, and again, you know, comparing that to an unpunched example, which can easily cross $150 to $175. You know, this price seems right in line. This is one that I definitely have on my radar. I'd like to pick one up unpunched, you know, sometime this year if I can swing it a little bit later once I get some more money. But I do love that card back. It's just something about it that really is very striking. Next up is Fiek Search, and this is, of course, the Attack of the Clones VC49 unpunched example US card back. Very, very clean. That one sold for $115 free shipping. This seller had a number of really nice TVC 1.0 for sale, and all of them were in pretty great shape, and most of them were priced pretty aggressively relative to recent sales, and they all seemed to go pretty quickly. Next up is a Princess Leia in her slave outfit, and this is the US card with the prototype Boba Fett offer sticker. So this was the retail release of the Revenge of the Jedi card. It was listed for $400 plus $635 shipping, and the best offer that was accepted was $350, which again, this one seems to be hovering between $300 and $350. Sometimes they go a little bit higher, just depends, but that one did sell for $350. This one also sold. This one was a Return of the Jedi, again with the prototype Fett offer sticker. So, you know, obviously the Revenge of the Jedi seems to command a little bit of a premium, but that one was a buy it now situation. This one was a straight auction, and that one sold for $293 plus $10 shipping. So pick your poison on that one, whether you want the Return or the Revenge, the offerless SDCC Death Star play set or Death Star box set exclusive versus, you know, these retail releases. You just got to pick your poison there, but you can expect to obviously pay a little bit more for the SDCC offerless version of the Revenge of the Jedi VC64. Next up, we got another RS Singh VC73. Nice, clean, unpunched card. It did have some light edge wear on the back of the card. That one sold for $130, and that's kind of right in line with what we saw in a market update a week or two ago. About the same price. This one was over in Europe, so it sold for 105 pounds, which equates to about 130 US plus shipping on that one. A couple of different data points for Ahsoka, the original issue VC102. This one was the US card with It was unpunched and very, very clean. I mean, this was a really nice looking example overall. And, you know, I expected it to sell. I just wasn't sure for how much, but it did finally go off my watch list as sold. It was listed for 449 euros. And the best offer that was accepted was 390. So, you know, that equates to about 420 US dollars or so, with the recent kind of creeping up of the euro in terms of the conversion rate versus the dollar. But, you know, that's certainly off of the bottoms. We saw some really clean examples over the last few months that got all the way down to about 300 to 325, but it seems like the original issue of Ahsoka has bounced back up a little bit and is trading closer to about 400 bucks. Here was another one, same card, US card back unpunched, also very clean. And that one was listed for 450, and the best offer that was accepted on that one was 400 US dollars, free shipping. So again, at least right now, you know, who knows what happens from here on out the rest of the year, but at least right now, VC102, the original Ahsoka on the US card unpunched, seems to have bounced off those lows and is trading closer to about 400 bucks. Next up was that Republic Gunship, and I had this one in my what to buy video about a week or two ago, and I expected it to sell after I went live with that, and it sold very quickly thereafter. So I think the original list price was around $750. Don't quote me on that. And the seller dropped it a couple of times, and before it finally did sell, it did sell at $650. And based on my memory alone, I mean, I remember one that did sell at an auction for almost this exact same price of $650. And, you know, this box was pretty good. It had one little kind of ding right there in the corner, as you can see, and it was kindly shown by the seller, some light edge wear here and there to it, but probably an overall 80+ condition box. But that's certainly, in terms of vehicles within the vintage collection, this has got to be up there in terms of one of the holy grails. And I do find it interesting that the Republic Gunship sells for less than the AT-AT Walker. I mean, the AT-AT Walker seems to be very plentiful, and I know it's bigger, and, you know, there's kind of a splash factor with owning that AT-AT Walker. But, you know, we've documented those that have sold for over $1,000, multiple data points that show that. Whereas I feel like the Republic Gunship in the vintage collection packaging is much more difficult to find, yet it still stays kind of right around $600 to $650. So take that for what you will. Now, this one did include $45 shipping, so you're talking almost, you know, $700 after shipping, and that's before, you know, any kind of state sales taxes with eBay purchases. But I do find it interesting that the Republic Gunship doesn't sell for more, just given how hard it is to find one in clean condition, mint and sealed box. Next up, we've got that Sandtrooper with the dirty armor. This one continues to be a pretty popular one. Now, there's only one photo on this one, so that might have held the price down just a little bit, but it did look very clean. It was punched. It was the US card back, but great looking image there on the card. That one sold for $95 plus $7 shipping on 26 bids. And I think I have another one. Yeah, here's the other one that sold. VC112, same condition, US car back, about the same. It might have had a little bit more wear around the hang tab, as you can see, and one little ding in the upper left-hand corner. So probably not quite as clean, but it had more photos. So you know exactly what you're getting versus the other one where it only has one photo. And this one sold for $144. This was just a straight buy it now situation. So a couple of data points there. I mean, I would argue this one's probably cleaner, in cleaner condition. And that was in an auction for $95 plus $7 shipping. So let's call it about $100 versus this one that was a buy it now for $144. And this one sold after the auction. So what could have happened is, you know, someone who lost in that auction decided to go ahead and buy this one. That happens quite a bit with the vintage collection, especially when you have one at auction. If you wait a couple of days, usually if you go to sold listings, you can see that exact same item in a buy it now situation also sell. I call it being on tilt. Like it's like playing poker. You know, sometimes if you lose a big hand, then you might go on tilt and overbid on something, or overbet on your next hand. So I do that all the time. I freely admit, if I lose something on eBay in an auction, I might go on tilt. I might go on tilt and buy something and pay too much for it. So it's something that does happen to all of us. But anyway, that gives you a rough price range, $100 to $150 for a punched example of VC112 with the dirty armor Sandtrooper. Next up, we've got another data point for VC115, Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath. And I would argue that other than, you know, this one, that new removable helmet Darth Vader, or maybe the Dark Times Darth Vader, that one was on a lot of top, in terms of favorite figures from folks from the past year. But I consider VC-115 to be my favorite Vader in the vintage collection that I still don't have. I need to pick this one up at some point. But that new removable Darth Vader, removable helmet Darth Vader that was announced last week looks pretty impressive, especially with that 40th anniversary logo in the upper left-hand corner. But anyway, going back to this one was listed for $180, and the best offer that was accepted was $170. $170. Now, it was a very, very clean, unpunched card, but that's the biggest price I've seen on this one in a little bit. And admittedly, it was a buy it now situation versus an auction. But to me, if you can try to stay closer to 150 on this one, I did find a couple of data points between 150 and 160 on VC 115, but this one did sell at $170, best offer accepted. And then we've got a few data points for some of the recent box set releases. This is the Speeder Bike and Scout Trooper. Pretty awesome looking box art on that. Just looks really great. And that one, it was started off like as these items started to hit resellers' hands, they were going for about 60, and then it jumped up to 65 and then 70. The latest data points are all been right around $95 plus $10 shipping. So that's a pretty big jump in price for a recent release. And as I always preach, just give it a month or two. Give it a month or two, and if you still need this one and you didn't pre-order it, my guess is you're going to find this pretty readily available, closer to 60 to 70 bucks, if not less. And then also the indoor bunker. This is another one that really jumped up. It started kind of $80 to $90 on the eBay resales, and now they're trading for right around $120 plus $15 shipping. I found 4 different data points for closed transactions for the indoor bunker for $135 once you account for shipping. That seems like a lot of money for this playset, but that's what people are willing to pay right now just to get it in hand. Let's go ahead and talk about some graded items to finish off the video. This was an uncirculated 9.0 Gamorrean Guard. This was the original issue from 2010. I was shocked by this sales price, to be honest with you. $308. $308. Now, it was unpunched, and it was certainly looking nice, but, it has a lot of scratches, that are probably on the poly bag, but that is a big, big number for the Gamorrean Guard. But $308 plus $10.45 shipping. Here was that uncirculated 9.0 Luke Skywalker Bespin with the FET offer sticker. This one, of course, was a punched example, VCO4. But, this one, I said in my What to Buy video that if you can get it for close to $100, you're doing pretty well. And clearly, I was way off. This one sold for $53.76 plus $10.45 shipping for an uncirculated 9.0 Luke. And that, original issue Luke, that's not much more than grading costs once you factor in shipping to and from AFA. So that was a bargain. Next up was an uncirculated 90 original issue VCO9 Boba Fett with the rocket firing Fett sticker. And here's the label on this one. Archival case, straight 90s for the sub scores. $177.50 took that one home. And I think that's honestly a pretty great deal. I think in my What to Buy video, I said it would probably sell for about $175, maybe $150 on the low end. So I was a little bit low, but $177.50 plus $10.45 shipping, that to me is a pretty good buy. Hard to find the original issue Boba Fett in an uncirculated grade. That's a really good buy in my opinion. Next up was another one of those Maldo Kreese Mandalorian and Grogu. This is the Walmart exclusive. And this one sold for about $120 plus $16 shipping. It was graded 8.5 on the modern scale with AFA. And that's kind of right in line. I mean, they have every one of these I've found that have sold have been anywhere from 120 to about 135 for an 8.5 grade. Now, once you bump it up to a 9.0, that's where you start getting 150 to 175. But if you can live with the 8.5, which I think is more than satisfactory on a Walmart exclusive, we all know how tough it is to get really clean examples of Walmart exclusives. To me, $120 plus $16 shipping for that's a pretty good buy. And then finally, this one was a steal of a deal also. This was an uncirculated 8.5 Mithril, and that one sold for $43 plus $16 shipping. So again, you just got to, for a lot of these recent releases that are just now getting back into resellers' hands, once they've sent them to AFA needs 6 months or more to turn them around. And a lot of these, late 2022 releases, once they hit eBay, just nobody cares at this point. So if you can live with 8.5 grades especially, There are some really good deals out there, and this is a good example of that. Anyway, that's all I really had for this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.